Hey, it's me, your girl, Nycci Nellis, and welcome to this week's Industry Night. Now, you know I've been covering the food, wine, and hospitality scene for over 20 years via a variety of outlets. TheListAreYouWantIt.com, I'm on the radio with Foodie and the Beast, WTOP, in print, on TV, social, at NYCCI and ELLIS for everything on social and on YouTube, and of course with this podcast, Industry Night. Now you know I'm your one-stop shop for everything industry insider news, so let's get into it. Okay, so if you know me, you know I love me some pizza. But let's be real, what I actually love is like the cheese, the ooey goo, and well, the bread. I love the bread and the sauce. Okay, so I love pizza. It's so yummy. It's pure magic. And pizza isn't just food. It's a perfectly balanced masterpiece that sort of checks all the important food groups, right? Like gooey, crispy, and just delish. So now, what does it take to make a pizza so good that it gets ranked number 2 in the entire country by Italy's top 50 pizza? Well, today we're about to find out because I'm at Slice and Pie. Actually, right now I'm in Bar Lucy, but with me is the man behind the legendary Slice. Chef Giulio Adriani isn't just making pizza, he's living, breathing, and stretching it into new limits. Literally. He is a Guinness World Record holder for creating a pizza that stretched a mind-blowing 1.3 miles long, because, you know, like, why not? But before all that, he started just like any true pizza master should, in his grandma's kitchen, his nonna, learning the craft from the ground up. Then he took it to the next level, training under Italy's pizza royalty before bringing his skills here to the U.S. And he is totally changing the pizza game, right? Like total gauntlet thrown. He launched award-winning restaurants in both New York and here in D.C. And he introduced us all to flash-fried Neapolitan pizza. We're going to talk all things pizza. And how does a kid from Naples become one of the world's top pizza experts? I think we're going to be making some pizzas too, so I hope you're ready. So what does make pizza truly unforgettable, and what's next for this dough-slinging legend? Let's get into it. Chef, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Oh, actually, thank you so much for hosting me today.
Yes.
Here we are in the beautiful Lucy Bar, which is one of your properties, and later in the show, we're going to go back and make some pizza and Slice and Pie. But I'd love to sort of introduce people to you, because you have all these accolades in the pizza world, but you're originally from Rome. When did you, and you were an accountant, so you weren't like a pizza master, you know, you didn't come out of the womb that way. So let's talk about sort of you growing up in Rome, how food infiltrated your life, and sort of how you came full circle back to it.
Yeah, I grew up in Rome. It's different in terms of you're exposed to a lot of influence from all over Italy. Rome is the biggest city of Italy, right? So it's also multicultural right now, but before it was multi-regional, meaning like people from Napoli, like my father or my grandmother, they all moved to Rome where it was more opportunity. And people from the north come to Rome because it's gorgeous or they have a government job. So there's always an influence in Roman food from many regions of Italy. And my personal influence was growing up with my grandmother. Every Sunday in Italy, like probably in Jersey over here, is a family day and we all go to there and she cooks for everybody. So she still did that till she was 95 and
God bless her.
94 when she died. And like the memories were the smell of the, let's say, of the eggplant parmigiana or the smell of the sauce. So that's pizza that she was doing, like the grandma pie that now they call it here. Right?
What's a grandma pie? No, what is grandma pie?
Well, a grandma pie is now became a style. But realistic is what your grandma was making at home. So it was a pizza normally with a short, small, like very thin, because she was opening into the pan, made into the oven at home with a lot of oil in the pan. So it was like very tasty. Technically not an advanced product, but
Right.
he had that amazing sauce from your grandma and the mozzarella, and that was the grandma pie back home.
But I would assume for a young person like yourself, like when you went to your grandma's house, did they just give the kids the dough to play with? Or no, was like, no, it's serious, we're making food.
I mean, the memories of my kitchen was you couldn't get in because my grandma was cooking literally with hands in fire. I remember the steaks. She was turning the steak with the hand in the flames. The oven, she wouldn't use the meat, but just like a rag. So it was not the safest environment for a kid.
Right.
And we were going to taste the sauce with the bread, which she hated, and so we were not allowed in the kitchen.
Out of the kitchen.
Yes,
Okay, I'm with your grandmother. I'm totally with her. At what point, because you went into accounting, at what point did you go for full circle? At what point were you like, I belong in the kitchen?
I never thought to belong in the kitchen originally, meaning like I grew up in a family in which my father is an accountant. He still is. And my path was clear. I had to be an accountant. Everybody around me, you had to be an accountant. You will be an accountant. 12 years. I was already in the office with him in summer doing calculations. I was very good in mathematics. But I started having a passion for surfing. And that passion...
that's a left turn. Surfing. Okay, good for you.
I started having that passion. And my father, which was a skier, hated that passion.
Okay.
And say, no, you're not going to surf. It's dangerous. There are sharks, waves, people drown. No surfing.
Okay. Could you surf in Rome?
Yes, sometimes. Yes, in winter.
The water's right there.
In winter, but so I start using pizza weekends job like they do here in America, right? In order to pay my surfboard. And then when I was older, like 17, my first surf trip to France in Biarritz. Was financed by pizza. So at the beginning and through university, same thing, you work in pizzeria to finance your pleasure. And then right to the point in which military service was mandatory, right? And I went to do this military service at the end of the university. So it was a year and a half. I was actually in Carabinieri, which is the Italian police. And a year and a half after that, I was supposed to sit in the office with my dad. And the last day of the service, I called my dad. I say, I'm not going to sit in the office with you. I want to start working in a pizzeria. And
he must have loved that.
No, my dad still tell me that his heart attack that had few years after came from that.
The delayed heart attack. Okay, I love this.
And so long story short, we start fighting about it, and we come out with an agreement. Okay, I'll come working with you in the office every day. You open my first pizzeria. This was the agreement.
Wait, so you had to work in his office?
I did work until I was 38.
Okay, till you're 38.
Yeah.
Now, while you're working, are you learning everything about making pizza? Like,
no, I already had my restaurant. So I started working, and 6 months after, we opened my first restaurant.
In Rome?
In Rome.
So, I've been to Rome. What was it about the pizza place that you opened in Rome? Did you have something that you wanted to do, or did you want to do, like, one of the regular pizza places? Because my first pizza ever in Rome was square, baked in the pan that they folded like a sandwich.
Yeah. No, this was the first Neapolitan pizzeria. Actually, it was in Ostia, which is the beach of Rome.
I've been to Ostia. I've been there.
So it seemed like a Rockaway for New York. And it was the first Neapolitan pizzeria.
Okay.
Because our partner, at the time we found a partner to run the restaurant with me, because I had all the day to stay in the office, was from Napoli, and my father is from Napoli, and Neapolitan pizza was the only thing we always eat. And so that was the start, make a Neapolitan pizzeria. So I started refining the technique. It was still like, I was going every day, but still the office was officially my job, and the restaurant was kind of like my passion.
Right.
And then eventually I started leaving the office earlier and earlier. I started diving into pizza deeper and deeper.
Let's talk about the diving into pizza, your education in pizza, because, I grew up in New Jersey. At that time, New Jersey, New York, it was just big pizza by the slice pizza, and Sicilian, which was thick pizza. Yeah. Those were the only two pizzas that I knew. And then, as you get older and you travel, and there's Neapolitan, there's Detroit style, there's all these different kinds of pizzas. So how did you educate yourself on all the different styles of pizza?
So there was inside me, and I think that the difference sometimes between a great pizza maker, a good pizza maker, and an average one is the desire to get better, never get happy about the product. And this was the start. For example, I met this guy, Caputo, which nowadays everybody knows about pizza, knows about Caputo for Neapolitan. I met Antimo and their family in a trade show in Napoli, which I went for curiosity, just to see the new trends. So there we met, and actually I said, no, I need your flour to improve my pizza. So I brought the pizza, and then I entered into a circuit of masters like Antonio Starita, all the old, like 80 years old masters from Napoli. They start embracing me into the community. But the step up in the career was when Neapolitan pizza made the jump. At one point in 2006-07, Neapolitan pizza made a big jump and became global from regional.
But was that because, was it already DOCG at that point?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It was all connected to the recognition of it.
Because I feel like in the States, what happened was all of a sudden chefs were getting really inspired. They were going and getting trained, and then they were coming back, and it was this accreditation. They were opening Neapolitan that was DOCG, right?
So
Designated.
this after. So I jumped into that before the American arrived. The first one were the Japanese.
Oh, no kidding.
So there was this demand of foreign language, let's say, into the pizza classes in Napoli. And I was one of the few, probably maybe the first one that was really English speaking, and not only because I also speak Spanish and French.
Okay.
At that time, that was available to do these classes, and I was lucky because I also have education. So for me, studying techniques and chemistry behind pizza was easy. And so I started giving classes. And many times you learn more by giving a class to somebody than by teaching it, because you learn their mistake, you learn their angle, and
you hear their questions, right?
Correct.
Like there's probably things that you're like, oh, I never thought of that, right? So it does widen your vision.
Yeah, and so pizza becomes strong and strong. Then it happened, I start competing. I don't even know why, honestly.
I know why. Why did you start? What is it about you guys? What is it about competing?
No, I had no idea. I started going because a friend of mine was going, and then I happened to win them all, pretty much.
Okay.
And one of the competition I won put me on a flight to New York to make a best of the best. So the best of Italy, the best of Australia, the best of America, the best of Japan.
But specifically Neapolitan pizza?
No, any pizza could have been.
Pizza.
I brought Neapolitan, they brought their pizza. And I arrived in New York, and I met this competition, I won it.
Oh my
and
God.
After the competition, an investor, the owner of Olio Più,
They
opened here.
They just opened here.
The first one was in New York.
Yes.
Emil. He came to me and he said, I need you for my restaurant in New York. So I went back home and I said, well, I had this proposal. I'm going to go to New York for 3 months to help this guy. I never left anymore. Fell in love with the city, decided to stay in New York. And after many years, here I am. Went through a lot of failures.
I'm sure.
Because Neapolitan pizza, I was the second one. The first was this guy, Roberto from Castea, Roberto Caporuscio, was the first true Neapolitan. And we at Olio were the second true Neapolitan.
Wow.
So we launched the Neapolitan pizza trend in America. After us, they can now.
So
pizza in that year exploded. In fact, he was best pizza of New York 2011. I was best pizza of New York 2012.
Okay.
So it was that moment. Then there was Una Pizza Napoletana, also was 2010. So it was like explosion in Neapolitan pizza. And we found in this whirlpool in which we became ambassador, but also with that it came, yes, the responsibility, but also the failures. Because sometimes when you think that you are very good, you start not listening to your customer. And that's what happened to us, or to some of us, in my case. My pizzeria were amazing, but were not what my customer wanted. And we hear
So what wasn't, I'm just curious, what didn't the customer want? What was missing?
for example, let's say Neapolitan pizza nowadays, that time was early. Nowadays, everybody knows it's soft and chewy, soupy, let's call it.
I love it.
At that time, there was a pushback against it, you know. So you had few travelers, because speaking of 15 years ago, few travelers that knew it and recognized, but most of people wanted crispy, crunchy, similar to a New York slice.
Sure.
So we absolutely said, no, we're not going to change it. And some of us succeeded, but most of us probably went through a painful process. In my case, I closed a few restaurants before understanding, because I didn't want to listen. I started listening after, right? And some instead kept the word Neapolitan pizza, but really don't give Neapolitan pizza. They give a sort of an hybrid, still marketed as a Neapolitan pizza because Napoli has this big name, right, and recognition. And pizza started evolving even more in nuances of the style. So now, before I was teaching and I was saying there's only one pizza Neapolitan. This was my mantra, right? And now I teach.
Because you were young.
Yeah, young no, but yes. And now when I teach, I say there's only two pizza: good pizza, bad
pizza. I couldn't agree with you more.
That's to me. Then whatever and this call it style or technique you use to produce a good pizza is gonna be depending on what you wanna serve to your customer. In my case, here I built two businesses, right? And I produce 4 different style of pizza in the business. So we have the New York style on the other side that we're gonna demonstrate, slice and pie. They won a lot of accolades. And then here at Lucy, we do a Neapolitan pizza.
Okay, let's not like yada 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 over the accolades. You're like number 2 in the world?
No. So.
Wait, I have it.
Yeah, number 2 in America.
Number 2 in America.
So.
That's a pretty big
Very
deal.
big. Bigger, I consider this bigger than my World Pizza Championship because I went out of comfort. So I went out of comfort zone and in a city that normally is not famous for New York style pizza.
No.
So to me, this was a big accomplishment because not beating Pizzeria in New York is already an accomplishment because there is the heart. It's like you do a Neapolitan pizza in Rome and better than in Napoli. Well, it's not easy because there's not the culture. In Rome, the pizza is thin. So for me, like I say, I wasn't expecting. Well, last year we got voted second best pizza in America as a New York pizza slice. That was great. The first one to me is, without any doubt, the best in America. So already be close to him. It was great.
That is great. Congratulations.
Yeah, especially because I'm in a style which I mastered late in my career. In the last few years, I started dedicating myself to New York or Detroit, which is outstanding, or other styles.
So here now we've got the slice by the slice next door, right?
Yeah.
I did see a thicker pizza.
The Detroit style.
The Detroit style, which we'll discuss. And then, but here in Lucy Bar, I mean, this is a gorgeous sit-down bar. I've had the pleasure of being here.
Yes.
You're doing fried pizza. Yes?
Yeah, we're anticipating.
Yes, maybe. I have fried pizza.
No, yes. We're gonna do fried pizzas will get me a green card, right?
Right.
If I am in America, it's because in those years of Porcella, I came out with this fried pizza, and it was voted best pizza in New York, and actually was recognized as a culinary addition to the United States.
Wow.
And that was the base of my application for a green card.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes,
I love
great
that.
Story.
So what are we serving here in Lucy Bar then?
Lucy is Neapolitan pizza, and as appetizer we have this small fried pizza now coming up on March 21st with the start of spring.
Okay, which is very exciting.
Yes.
And this is just...
And then of course we have Italian food. This started as a bar, but we transformed into an Italian restaurant, pretty much. Even if we don't market as it.
It's a neighborhood. Like you're right on 14th and Florida. You're just like at this perfect location for people to gather.
Yes.
And you know, even when I was sitting in Slice and Pie, when the team was setting up, it felt very, growing up outside New York City, like just watching people come in and get a slice. I was like, this is so natural, and there's nothing like that here. So it's kind of cool to watch. And I also love you have garlic knots. Those are like my favorite.
No, this is born like that. Born as a bar and then transform into, we don't put a name to what it is. It is Lucy Bar. It is Lucy to me. Not even bar. In fact, you come with your food, your drinks. We didn't want to give it a definition.
Okay.
to the restaurant. I don't think it would make sense because we wanted it to be what customer want it to be.
Okay, so they're hearing you.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go back and make some pizza. What do you think? All right,
Okay.
sounds good. Okay, so we have moved rooms, we walked through a little secret hallway, and now we've gone from Lucy over to Slice and Pie. And I'm looking at, for those of you who are watching on YouTube, you can see this, and for those of you who are listening, I'll explain to you, I'm looking at a deck oven. Now, when I think of deck ovens, I think of like my New Jersey girl, New York, pizza by the slice, which you do here, but do you do all the pizzas here?
Yep.
Okay, so how does heat work, and how are you able to do that? Because when I think of Neapolitan, I think of like
High
wood
heat.
burning, right? Like one of those big massive ovens that everybody's like, you need this for a certain reason. So talk to me a little bit about it.
Well, obviously, we all know that New York style pizza require a deck oven. That's pretty standard. Even if in New York you have some places like Totonno, other places they old school they use it like coal oven, so this massive oven coal.
Right.
Yeah. So,
but the coal ovens are similar in looking to like the wood fire, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But nowadays, exactly. So 10 years ago, this was impossible.
Okay.
Nowadays it is, because the new technology for the oven brought us like high heat ovens with double source of heat, top and bottom.
Oh, like
and
convection?
Yes.
Gotcha.
So they reproduce pretty much the cooking requirements that we have in a wood fire oven. So it's like, is it perfectly as a wood fire oven when I make a Neapolitan pizza? For me, no. For most customers, I wouldn't even believe it.
Right.
So this is nowadays is like a Ferrari. You got the best that you can. And
So you're wearing your chef's coat. It's got a bunch of things on it. Tell me what's happening here.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, this is 50 top pizza is like for restaurant. For pizzeria is what 50 best is for restaurant, and cocktail worst best cocktail is for the cocktail bars.
Right.
So it's the most important award that you got in the industry, and together with the award, in this case, the second place in Slice, they give you a nice chef coat from an Italian. Yes, a beautiful chef coat.
Okay, so you're gonna make some pizza.
I'm gonna make some
What kind
pizza.
of pizza are we going to be making?
I would make like our favorite one, which is the burrata, because it's, to me, is the perfect blend of my Italian culture and a New York style pizza.
Okay, so it's a New York style pizza, or are we doing, which kind of style?
Oh, it's a New York style.
New York style.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about, do we use different flours for all the dough, or is it one dough for everything?
Yeah, I have like 4 type of flour in my kitchen,
Okay.
plus the gluten-free.
Oh, you do gluten-free too?
I do also gluten-free.
Isn't that amazing?
But the flours blend. I blend 3 different type of flour. I have like a classic 00 from Italy or from Caputo.
Right.
But I also use a flour called Type 1, which has some bran of the wheat, so some fibers to help us with digestion. So for healthy reason, I blend like all these 3 types of flour.
Okay, and so is that what you use for your by the slice?
I use it for by the slice.
And what do you use? What's your flour ratios mixture, if you will, for like your Neapolitan?
A Neapolitan is straight a Neapolitan flour. Like
00?
No, I use it 0, type 0.
Okay, type 0.
So the 00 I use for New York style, blended with the 0 and with the type 1.
Okay, and
So
what does that all mean?
Exactly. So
what does it mean?
This is the level of extraction. As you know, the flour comes from a wheat, a wheat germ.
Yes.
From a wheat
Like
seed.
the flour.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so the outside of it has this part that's hard, that everybody can envision, right? A seed is as a hard part, which is the bran, and those are the fibers, right? That we all need sometimes to digest better. When you do a diet for healthy reason, they give you to use high fiber diet.
Yes.
So normally these got removed because they interact with the structure of the pizza, making it a little more harder to stand. So in the past was always removed. Nowadays, with new nutritional value, etc., they've been brought in back.
Right.
As important in the flour. So I blend the level of extraction, generate a number.
Okay.
It's a code.
But it does make sense. I mean, I think I was telling you off air, a lot of people in America who say they're gluten-free or they have trouble digesting gluten, it's because of the processed flours. And then they go to Italy and they have pasta and bread and they're like,
no problem.
I don't have any problems because it's they're not as processed, right?
Correct. I mean, correct. There is people that is gluten
Like celiac, yes.
right? In that case, I understand. Some people are highly gluten intolerant, not being celiac. Also, in that case, I understand.
Right.
But nowadays, a lot of people don't eat gluten because they feel that gluten will make them bloated.
Yeah.
Right. But most of
Not me. I just want to be clear. I'm
No,
okay
me
with it.
but definitely the fact that American flour, American or in general processed flour, and is been used for many years in baking, because of course the advantage of processing or adding ingredients of flour help shelf life, help fermentation, speed fermentation. There's many reasons for which things are processed,
Right.
which are mostly related to convenience and shelf life. So definitely it can long run generate a sort of intolerance to
makes
that
sense.
product. So in my case, even people that discover allergy down the road in life, it's probably due to the fact that the food are processed and changed probably. And
Okay. So what are we gonna make? Let's see.
Let's make a pizza.
Let's make some pizza.
Let's see if I still remember how to.
Okay.
So we're gonna make a large in New York, and
Okay.
as you see, so our dough is a 3 days process. So the dough
Okay.
pretty much we start the process today for a pizza that you'll eat today in 3 days from now.
So you allow the dough to ferment.
Yes,
Yes.
we do have a long fermentation.
Okay. And why do you do that? Is it more digestible? Is it provide a better crust? What's your
I mean,
thought?
mostly generating flavor and is the first reason. So, of course, during process of fermentation, there's also the aroma and acidity, in general, sour taste, all things that happen during fermentation.
Right.
And we wanted the dough to be mature for you to eat.
Sure.
And also we want it to be tasty good. So we find this formula to be good for us. So you see there's a lot of air in my
A lot of air.
Yeah, there's a little black spots. These are like the dots. These are the fibers that I was
Sure.
speaking of, the type 1. So our job as a pizza maker is try to push the hair to the border, right,
Okay.
to create that edge,
And
cornichon.
how wide are we going? What are we
We're going
looking
18 inches.
at? 18 inches.
Yeah.
And you can just eyeball it, right? Like you kind of know what it's going to look like.
See, yeah, after
Okay.
a few years, yes.
You've been doing it a long time. So, you know, like when I was a kid and I would go to the Pizza Palace in New Jersey, they would throw it in the air
Yeah,
and do,
like this.
right?
Yeah.
That's just for show, right?
That's mostly for show. In some case, when you have a dough that's very resistant, helps you with the centrifugal effect, helps you to spin it and make it larger.
right.
In my case, the dough is very soft. It's not needed. It's just
Your dough is
My-
really soft.
really soft. Yes.
And you can really see the
because
elasticity.
he has a lot of water inside, right?
Okay.
That's the dough. So. Notice.
Okay, we got our paddle.
Yeah, so this is the pedal. So
Yes.
Yes, two sides. This is the side goes in the
The oven,
yeah, and this is
obviously, the
side.
darker side.
Yes.
What about like semolina or
I don't
anything like
use
that?
semolina.
You don't need it?
No, I don't use it. I like to use the same flour that I use for the pizza on my
Okay.
desk. There's some people that like semolina because it creates that crunchy texture.
Yeah,
on
it's a little
surface.
coarser, right?
Yeah, some people even use what it is,
like
cornmeal.
a cornmeal,
Yeah,
right? Like polenta.
and that's I feel like it's more old school.
Okay.
Nowadays, pizza makers tend to use the same flour.
Okay. And what is it about how you stretch it so that the crust rises just a little bit at the edges?
Well, the crust rises with the air. So you see in my case,
Yeah,
a
you
lot
got
of
a lot of
bubbles,
air bubbles.
right? So that's
Yes.
so this pizza.
Tell
we
me
put-
about our sauce. What tomatoes are we using?
So this is Italian tomato crushed.
San Marzano?
Well, not San Marzano DOP because that's
Very expensive.
no, that's a lot of stories. San Marzano is if you see the show, HBO show, Stanley Tucci Searching for
Yeah,
Italy.
yeah.
They'll describe the fact that San Marzano is a 70 square mile, I think, radius. So
Okay.
can that produce the
All those tomatoes?
Probably
No.
no. So I'd rather go on Italian peel tomato.
Okay.
You know, that's our high quality
Sure.
from a region of San Marzano.
So this is just tomatoes. No, it's not
Yeah.
a seasoned sauce.
Yeah, just tomato. Open the can. The brand is called Ciao. Is an
Okay.
famous Italian brand.
Uh huh.
And yes, we open. Is already crushed in this case. So
Okay.
for the Neapolitan pizza, we use the peeled one.
Right.
And then we crush it by
Crush
hand.
it yourself. Mm-hmm.
This one we use a crush one because he has a higher thickness of the sauce. That's perfect for New York style.
Great.
So in this case I put double portion of the tomato because this pizza start cooking just by itself, no cheese on it.
No cheese.
Not now.
Okay.
The cheese will be when it's completed.
Okay.
See?
That looks like we have also some, is that
Detroit,
some Detroit
yeah.
coming out of the oven? Okay. Gorgeous.
Yeah.
So now, since we haven't really talked about Detroit, because like I don't really know much about Detroit, what is it about Detroit? What is it about a Detroit pizza?
Dame una. Una Detroit.
Detroit. ¿Y estas?
Dame.
I mean, I see it looks like focaccia.
Esa no está caliente.
No está caliente. Okay, so this is our par-baked Detroit. We started, the Detroit in my case is a two process. The first process I par-bake with some cheese on top, not too much. It's like a focaccia, but the difference is the dough is a little more hydrated, so you open and springs up inside more. And also in a first cooking we put a little bit of cheese on the edge, but then when we're gonna finish and top it, it's gonna have a lot more cheese on the edge that will create that side
crust,
crispy crust, very, I would say that very tasty, for sure. That people love it. So it's a style born in Detroit. Originally, it didn't get a lot of attention. It got most of the attentions in the last few years. After, because during pandemic, the famous one is called Buddy's in Detroit.
In Detroit.
Yes, but it became very popular lately during the pandemic because this friend of mine, unfortunately, shout out to their family, Sean Randazzo, he died for brain cancer.
Oh,
recently.
Sorry to hear that. Right.
But during pandemic, before even discovered this, he started producing this Detroit frozen, and it was reviewed by what's the name? The famous One Bite stool president.
Oh yeah.
It was reviewed, got a great score, and then it popped up, and Detroit.
Everybody wanted Detroit pizza.
Everybody wanted back Detroit pizza.
Okay. So let's talk about, while the pizza is making, let's talk about all the different pizzas that you do serve. Because I know you do collaborations, like you have a collab right now with Federal Pizza. Yeah. You have a clam pizza coming out. Like, what is it about different toppings? Like, I'm a purist, so what is it about the kind of pizzas you do?
So,
beautiful.
Yes. So we have like the classics, right? The classic is always the cheese and the pepperoni are the two that people love, right? Pepperoni, love cheese.
Yeah, I'm a classics fan.
Then we have like, of course, the meat lover, which is very requested. And then as a chef, when it comes to New York, you can make a choice to be very creative or be standard. I'm trying to be in between. So like, for example, I have the infamous Hawaiian pizza, right?
Are you pro Hawaiian? Where's your head at on that?
I'm not against.
You're not against?
No.
You're okay with it?
I'm okay with everything. Meaning, like, I think it's a campaign against Hawaiian because it goes back in time. Realistically speaking, chefs nowadays explore any type of combination, including pizza chefs, right? Yeah. They do peach on pizza. They do fig on pizza from Rome. It's been forever. So why everybody's against pineapple?
Well, actually, I got to be honest. Like the first time I was in Rome, I had potato and rosemary.
Yeah,
pizza,
potato.
Oh God, it's so delicious. But I'd never seen that before.
Yeah,
so I don't mind it.
So realistically, I think the war against the pineapple started with the fact that pineapple that we were using was the one that they were using was the one in can. And juice, like sugar. So, but if we do like we do, we cook it, we prepare it for being perfect. Yeah, I don't have it's the same of clam pie. I always look at the clam pie like because some people do it with the canned clam.
No, whole clams.
Yeah, we take the clam like we do pasta with vongole, and that's how we came that pizza. I made spaghetti with vongole for Valentine's Day. This was last week. And I had leftover clams, and I said, what am I going to do with it? So it's not on the menu, and it was Saturday. I said, okay, let's try clam pie. And it was like maybe 3 cases.
I had some the other night. It was delicious.
Everybody went for it. I sold out. So I say, okay, let's do it again. Sold out again, and then it's now stable.
And you're like, okay.
And then I have federally speak. That was always in the back of my mind because I
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, that looks so good. Okay, but it's not ready yet?
2 minutes. So I love barbecue.
Okay, me too. I'm with you.
So having a great barbecue pizza, not being the classic buffalo chicken pizza,
Right.
it was always in the back of my mind. So I found Rob with the Federal
Rob Snyder, yeah, he's amazing.
And we decided to collaborate, make a pie.
And now it's going to stay on the menu for good, right?
Yeah, it was supposed to be Super Bowl only. That's
Right.
it. No.
Well, listen, when
He
you
has
find
to be
something
here.
that works, right?
He has to be here.
Okay. So now what?
There we
with
go.
this
So
pizza?
now we have the pizza.
I'm going to come over here. Ooh.
In this case, of this pizza, what
Okay.
we do, actually, sorry, here.
So what is this pizza again?
So this pizza is the burrata pie.
Burrata pie.
Burrata.
Burrata. Oh, you said burrata. Okay. I know
So-
burrata.
When we prepare the burrata pie, we're gonna put some pecorino cheese. Donde está? Sorry.
Esta.
Esa?
Esa.
Okay. So in this case, I use only the burrata filling because
So,
I
like,
feel
is
a
that
lot of people.
stracciatella?
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know what it is, so we call it burrata. We don't say stracciatella.
No, a lot of people
because
don't
it's
know what
only
it
the filling.
Right.
And we don't want to give just the outside, which is only mozzarella. So we really want to give what is the delicious part
Which is
of
the
it.
good part.
Yeah. So this pizza, for example, is being inspired by l'Industria, which is this famous pizzeria in New York, the one best pizza in America. So,
Okay.
and it's my friend. He inspired me because he started putting this fresh burrata on top of warm pizza. So you have kind of normally, let's say, customer want everything warm, but
Right.
when it comes to this, we felt like people start loving it, and we continue with this trend of the.
Sure.
So then it goes.
Add some olive oil. Now, what kind of, I know it's Italian, but what kind of olive oil?
From
do you-
Sicily.
Yes.
I found that for pizza I need something a little more robust, so I use a Sicilian one.
So super fruity, a little more acidic?
It is fruity, but it is also like a little acidic because you have to contrast with the sweet of the burrata and the pecorino that's also sweet.
Okay. This is gorgeous.
And the basilico? Basil.
¿Veis? Ahí está.
¿Dónde?
Ahí abajo.
Top with basil.
Ahí
Yeah.
está. Al fondo.
Aquí.
El otro, el otro.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And here we go. And this is our burrata pie.
All right.
It's one of our most selling pie.
Perfect.
People really love it. So I guess it's because this combination of Italian flavors and American crispy pizza, I think people love it.
It's
Yeah.
gorgeous. I love
Thanks.
it too. Great. Chef, thank you so,
Thank you so much
for
for
everything
visiting.
today. Tell everybody where we are.
We're at
and
a
where they
Slice
can
and
come see you.
Pie, 2221 14th Street. We have second location coming.
Oh.
In the Walter Reed Parks at Walter Reed
Oh,
on Georgia Avenue. It's going to
congratulations.
be maybe by the summer open, hopefully.
Okay,
depending on
great.
construction. And yeah.
And we
then
didn't even get into fried pizza. We'll save that for another day.
we'll serve it.
But you serve it
On
soon.
the 21st of March, I launched the new menu with the spring, and it's going to be fried pizza appetizer
at Lucy.
all over the menu at Lucy.
Okay, Lucy and Slice and Pie. Can we get
No,
into both? No,
no,
just
no,
Lucy.
Just Lucy.
Okay, fair enough. Thank
Just
you,
Lucy.
Chef.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank
Well, wasn't that an exciting show? I actually got to make pizza with an award-winning chef. I am so grateful to the team here at Slice and Pie for allowing me to do the show here today. Remember to follow me at NYCCINELLIS on all the channels, especially on Instagram, where you can see some of the things I did here today. And of course, on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave some comments or questions. I totally want to be able to answer you. Thank you again for joining me, and have a delicious week.
Produced by Heartcast Media.